Welcome to The Hero Maker. In this series, we follow Richard's appearances on other shows as he talks about how to grow, play, think, and live like a hero. Join him as he discusses thoughts, principles, and life lessons, all essential for anyone building their heroic brand. All that and more only on The Hero Maker.
Tell me about Push Button Podcast and what that does and where your agency was before all the crisis hit. So let's start in the beginning.
Yeah, so Push Button Podcast is a new branch of our business where we are serving the podcast community. Generally speaking, we're looking at a subset of that community, people who have a business that they are driving their revenue through, and they're using podcasts as a way to build authority or build fame in their space, and then use that podcast to hopefully drive sales of their main business, right? So that would be separate, of course, from the podcasters who are running a podcast as a business in and of itself. So we serve that community. And what we do is we actually handle all of their podcasting except the actual content creation. So you guys actually are one of our clients. So we actually do handle all the editing and the distribution and the creation of content for this podcast and distribute it out for everything. And we do that for a number of clients now, and we're actually starting to open that up and take on new clients in that space. But what's been happening is the rest of our agency for the last 6 or 7 years has all been focused on helping entrepreneurs build their online brands, build their courses, build their webinars and sales things. And one of the things that I always struggled with is like, you guys should get out and build an audience. And a lot of people are like, that's too hard. It's a lot of work. So the Push Button Podcast service sort of came out of that. So we've been transitioning a lot of our clients into helping them, get to that space. And now we're still in the process of we're taking on new clients for helping them build their brand. And then when they get to a certain point, they're like, okay, I'm ready to actually start building the audience. And we're transitioning them into Push Button Podcast clients because that's a service that we can do long term. Whereas setting up their brand and setting up their products is sort of like a one time. We got it all up. We got your course ready. We got your webinars ready. We got everything done. And the service sort of ends. So that's a limited contract. But once we get into building a long-term, hey, we want to get in a long-term relationship and build something where we're helping you every single week and you grow your business, that's where Push Button Podcast is taking over there. And that's sort of where our business is now. And it's taken me a while to sort of figure out how everything fit together with our businesses, but that's where we're landing.
I love it. And as a user of Push Button Podcast, I cannot advocate for it enough. So let me give you a little plug here, you guys. I do this podcast, I record this interview, and then I don't touch it again. Richard's team takes over and edits the podcast, gets them up on all the networks, and then goes out there and pushes everything to our onto our social platforms. So he makes it super, super, super easy. So thank you for that. I am very thankful for the service because that frees up so much of our time.